Welcome, welcome, welcome everyone to the channel IndigoAngel. Come on into this dimension and come on into this 1111 Guardian update. Thank you guys so much for being here today. Grid workers, gatekeepers, and stewards of the new Earth. This is a significant window of time in the planetary field, and today we're going to do somewhat of a deep dive into the Hydra Oceanic Dragon Grid, the Mu womb codes, the Red-Gold Priestess lineages, and the reawakening of the dragon spirit, the Seraphim soul line body, and the prophecy timeline spanning now through 2044 and into the new Earth era. And I hope everyone is doing well. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, be sure to subscribe, hit that notifications bell, put a big like on this video today, as I'm going to be presenting things that you definitely have not seen before, as the only place to find it is going to be in my new book drop that is coming out in December uh, this year. So next month in 2025. And I intend to be very clear about this new channeled information, very grounded, very understandable for someone who might be completely new to the channel, while still carrying depth and accuracy for those that are doing grid work for many years to come. So this is a significant portal that we're going through, 1111. Each year opens a numerical harmonic gate through the 1111 portal, and it is a type of alignment between the sun, the planetary grid, human consciousness, Venus, and I do feel that this year in particular, 1111 2025, it's very distinct from previous years because I mentioned Venus. And this year, 1111, I do feel that what is occurring is a Venus synodic phase connected to the Mu restoration cycles. So that means that the Venus geometry is heavily getting activated in the planetary seed of life. In the race morphogenetic field and in the universal planetary shared tree of life. And so we're getting those pulse phases and those pulse waves and activations of the Venusian templating, the Venusian energy. And so what does that actually mean? For one, I've been seeing a lot of activation specifically in the Venus temple locations. So Kauai, Hawaii, France, Alhambra, Spain, all of that is getting activated, as Venus is the planet that holds the harmonic blueprint of the divine feminine architecture. And this is what merges the Earth's 72 harmonics um, into its missing other half, essentially, and upholds the 144 Earth harmonic template. And this is what really activates the dragon bone ley line skeletal keys in the planet, which is the primordial essence of Earth, which upholds the original chakra template of the planet. It's what holds Mu and the pre-Lemurian Earth, which was the civilization that maintained the planetary womb consciousness, and the dragon grid of Mu, which is the oceanic dragon ley line system. So it's kind of extending the connecting ley lines through the primordial waters, a real planetary energy network running beneath the Pacific in the Ring of Fire, and the ancient heiaus of the buried civilization of Mu, connecting the island chains, all of the underwater temple systems, and the volcanic belt, which ultimately is the subconscious template of humankind. It is it's the root chakra of the heart chakra, you could say. And so during this window of 1111, today, there's a lot of components that are being reconnected. So Venus, the divine feminine harmonic, Mu, the planetary womb memory, the oceanic dragon grid, the dragon spirit intelligence. And also I was getting a lot of connections to the Pleiadian system as well coming through. as kind of like a secondary energy or a subatomic energy that was assisting the support of all of these energies. And so you may be feeling some sensitivities around this activation day. A lot of divine feminines might be coming up upon their cycle, during their cycle, getting at the end of their cycle, but the cycle might be tying into this date somehow, some way. So you might be feeling connection through fertility. You might be feeling connection through um, your children. You might be feeling connection through motherhood, womanhood. You might just be feeling connected to the pelvic area of the sacral chakra or the womb-based areas and being guided to do clearings at this time. You might be connecting more to water in general. You might be guided to do a little water garden keeping or just ritual work with water, like drinking water and speaking to your water and, putting kind words into your waters, doing salt baths. And even in your dreams, you might be having more water memory in the dream time or just emotional recall of past relationships. And also a time where people might be contacting you from past relationships in the dream space. So you might get a message from like a past lover, an ex, um, someone that's had like a very deep sacral chakra type of connection to you and knows your deepest inner intimacy and has known that from the past. And so you might be getting messages of their oversouls coming to you in the dream space through the 1111 portal. I actually woke up this morning with that kind of message coming in for me personally. So that was interesting for me. Those are always things that I do often try to block out. Right? As life shall go on. But um, it's just a reminder that your love is never lost, with the people that you've invested in from the past, that those things can never truly die, especially if they were real. So maybe it's just a little bit of confirmation for you that everything isn't for nothing type of thing. So you're kind of getting this boost of um, um, a gentle reclamation, a gentle understanding, and just a gentle knowing of your worthiness spread throughout your eternal time, your eternal nature. You might see a lot of connections with the dolphins and whales and dragon symbols emerging at this time, working more with the planetary dragons, working more with the 13 mother dragon monadic templating, like more dragons coming forward. I've been seeing like the blue lightning dragons, the emerald dragons, and the amethyst dragons as well. They have been coming forward. And with the amethyst dragons, the messages I have been getting are this is about um kind of kind of boosting what you're about. Like, who are you? What are you about? What are the things you like? What has changed? What has transformed? And bringing some sort of like new excitement to that, in the way you express yourself, in the way others see you, whatever that is. But the amethyst dragons really want to kind of highlight who you are now actually becoming. And within that, the emotional waves that rise and clear through those processes of self actualization, self worth, and also this feeling, like a deep looming feeling within this, that a sense of something ancient is also returning to you. That, like a deep, deep, deep timeline or past life incarnation that really did represent uh, a part of yourself, a gleaming memory that just means so much to who you're becoming now, type of thing, that you're getting like ancient codes returning to you. You're getting that through your ancestors. You're getting that through not just random, imagery but it's like through the heart and through something very anchored in something that feels very tangible, very true to you. And you feel that through the planetary womb field. You feel this activation of the womb coming back online. So a lot's happening right? This 1111 is very special, as all these portals and gateways truly are. I believe Rob on TSP asked me, what's going on for the 1111 gateway, and I said, I didn't feel anything like very negative. I honestly felt that it was a deeper spiritual activation and a deeper cleansing and a deeper purification that's bypassing a lot of the artificial timelines and a lot of the spiritual warfare timelines right now. So I think it's very important to understand what was Mu if you're not too familiar with Mu. And I know a lot of you who watch my channel do know about Mu, do know about Lemuria, do know about Atlantis, but I feel like to understand Mu, we have to speak about it a little bit more clearly and a little bit more simply, that this wasn't just a continent that sunk. Um, Predating Lemuria, it really was an entire planetary era that was tied to the original backbone of the original dragon skeletal system of the planet. And this was where humanity lived in direct relationship to the mother body of the earth. So there really wasn't any disconnection from the heart. There wasn't disconnection from spirituality. There wasn't the insertion of AI technology. And so the temples of Mu were actually made out of the primordial essences of the ocean, hence why they returned to the ocean. The Mu template was very aligned to the tidal waves, um, the tectonic plates, anything that vibrationally came up from the volcanoes. The way that Earth responded to humanity through weather patterns, right? Hurricanes and tsunamis and things like this. Mu was very in alignment and a way of oneness with these things. Mu was also very sound based as well. Like 12D sound technology was the most advanced technology. Hence why it was therefore then banned by the Atlantean Brotherhoods and the Black Sun agendas and the Black Heart virus agendas and things like this. They have tried to ultimately rip out the 12-dimensional sound-based template out of the human light body. And they're still trying to do this progressively in the lower dimensional earth bodies. So I feel like this is a part of the ancientness that's coming back, is the sound technology. Also, the temples of Mu were water breath and plasma breath interactive. So, yes, very nymph-like, very mermaid-like. Um, in the way that one, in human form or angelic form, however they were interacting on Mu, that the way that they interconnected cellularly with breath, water, and plasma, very interactive and understanding of the essence of that, the protocols of that, the schematics of that, and what is encoded into the memory of the seawater itself. That this was very much a part of the uh, Mu temple complexes. And so those that lived on Mu, the body was understood as an expression of Earth itself, every aspect of the emotional body, right? Like the tidal aligned waves and things like this. The womb was understood as a portal of creation. And it was celebrated, it was sacred, it was not polluted the way it is now. And the oceans were understood as the memory vault of the planet. And this was harnessed in the reverence of love as well. So when Mu fell, Earth lost her direct womb resonance. This is really ties into the Tiamat body. This ties into the fall of Sophia. This ties into the curse of Eve and um, Lilith and the demonization of the divine feminine and that soul fragmentation that goes back 12,000 years on this planet, plus 36,000 years on this planet. So when Mu fell, this was the actual origin point of the suppression of the feminine. As much as we think it's Lemuria, Lemuria was like a tumultuous point, right? But Mu was the actual fall of the feminine, the suppression of the feminine, the separation between body and spirit, ancestral trauma related to the mother, and the feeling of exile, disconnection, or that something is missing. So, this is why the restoration of Mu is not really about history. It is about restoring the planetary memory of connection, safety, belonging, and creation power. And that belonging piece, right? So, so key, so, so, so important um, to heal the heart. And so the womb needs the heart. This is why many women that actually end up getting hysterectomies, like 50% of the women who do that end up passing away from heart disease because the womb and the eggs and the ovum are directly powering an energy, the heart chakra, especially for the divine feminine, anyways. And the same for the divine masculine, right? They actually don't have the reproductive portal in the same sense. Their reproductive organs are more so down in the root chakra. So it's almost like a little bit of an empty space in which their soul searching is to fill that space. They have to fill their sacral. So for them, their sacral is about pouring into it. For us, our sacral is about pouring out to the world for women. And so I think these realizations are coming up more through this gateway. And I think that the womb field of Earth is returning more back to us. And within it, the dragon spirit that awakes. So the Oceanic Dragon Grid, I feel like we have to talk about this more. I'm going to be presenting more things on this as time goes by and I'm able to get more into this topic itself. If this interests you, be sure to put a like on this video and drop a comment below and let me know if these are things you want me to talk about, more often on my channel. Um, if you are interested in Lemuria and Hydra and things like this, I mean, you really only have to scroll back so far before you actually find video content for that, as it does come up and cycle back around through me every so often, but I do tend to veer off and talk about other current events and tying it into all into the Guardian comprehension and narrative of things, as I feel like there's not too many people speaking openly and publicly about the Guardian perception and perspective. And I feel like it's a part of my mission to continue to assist as an ambassador to resurrect this consciousness more and more. But I think it's important that we talk about the Dragon grid itself, because it's not mythology. It is actually planetary architecture. I've charted many, many of these dragon planetary templates and architectures in the past, but ultimately, and I haven't made a chart for this, essentially the Oceanic Dragon Grid is a ley line network beneath the seafloor that carries Earth's womb resonance. It holds the crystalline memory of the planet. It regulates emotional and energetic coherence on Earth and anchors the feminine creation field. And its major nodal points include Okinawa and Yonaguni in Japan. This is a very significant point. It's almost like the apex of this template. Kauai and the Hawaiian volcanic belts, very significant point. The Tonga Islands, Madagascar, the Caspian Rift Zone, the Celtic Isles, and the ice shelves of Antarctica. So these particular nodes, they're not random. They essentially form the dragon bone architecture and the planetary skeleton of the feminine creation current, which is this picture here. Okay, this is the actual dragon bone ley line system in which the original and most ancient chakra system of the planet resides on, prior to the Lemurian 23.5-degree angular Earth tilt. This was the original template. It's still here, it's still serving. And so when these nodes are actually synchronized, the planetary womb field restores itself. There is a regeneration, not only in the planetary field womb body, amongst that corridor beneath the seafloor, but also within the womb body of all living beings on the planet. And this is actually happening now. This is happening now. And so this brings me to the role of the Red-Gold Priestess lineages. So Red-Gold Priestess lineages, this is really does amplify the root of the feminine before the fall of Mu and the planetary womb field that was not maintained through buildings and machines and the matrix. It was maintained through the higher consciousness body, the human light body. And so the Red-Gold Priestess lineages are the carriers of the solar dragon flame, the emerald water codes, the womb breath activation techniques, and the memory of how to open the dragon grid, and the resurrection in the consciousness of Sophia. They are line holders of the unfallen seraphim, the Seralines, and they are the original flame keepers of the Alasia flame, which is the eternal divine feminine Christ flame. So the Red-Gold Priestess lineages, their bodies were living encryption keys, which translates to Isis, translates to Mary Magdalene, translates to the descendancy of the goddess and the solar monadic body of the purity of the goddess and the Hydra starseeds. Okay, all of the divine feminine starseeds, the Pleiadians, the Cassiopeians, the Andromedans, the Spikans. Okay, there's particular systems that were the primordial feminine lineages that came as pre-holographic ancestral bodies that breathed and wove together through breath and light the original race morphogenetic field of the planet. So these bloodlines, their DNA held the root codes of the mother, and they ushered that into the mother mitochondria in spirit form. Their bloodlines were global, universal, planetary, multiversal. They existed across all of those specific points that I had just mentioned to you, Okinawa, um, the Ryukyu Islands, Polynesia, Madagascar, the Caspian Sea region, and the Celtic Isles, and they encoded the planetary womb field through song, breath. They were the weavers, ceremony, and direct angelic transmission. These lineages have been scattered but never erased. This is, it was the breaking up of the Red-Gold Priestess lineages that is what was the breaking up of the dragon's body. So I feel like these lineages are awakening now, that there was a big activation on the Mary Magdalene feast day of this year, and there was an intention that was set in the planet that I feel many of you listening to this now may even just feel in your body, just hearing this resonates. And yeah, put a like on this video if this resonates. If you feel a pull to the ocean, okay? This is my ocean necklace, my gold ocean primordial waters necklace. If you feel that pull to the waters right now, if you feel a pull to memories you can't really logically explain, a knowing in your womb, belly, or heart, and a sense that you have done all of this before, being a part of this Red-Gold Priestess lineage, these are all signals. These are all signals to remind you and to run those activation codes through your field and usher in the return of the dragon spirit. Because this is all of this, you guys, was in the Bible. There were so many chapters taken out of the Bible. The ancient text and original texts of the Bible that were held in preservation in the 1700s and the 1800s. If you go back and look at these preserved versions of the Bible, it talks about the return of the dragon spirit. It talks about Hydra. It talks about all these books, as you well know, that were taken out through the Council of Nicaea. They didn't want none of this to pollute the ideological framework of religion, of the Legion, of religion. They didn't want the return of the dragon spirit. They've been trying to oppress this. This is all of the oppression keys that are all over the Vatican. I mean, this is ultimately what the cutting of Medusa's head was about. But for us to recognize the return of the dragon spirit, we essentially move into the part that is most important. Obviously, what was taken out is most important. And that is the dragon spirit is not a creature. It never was technically a creature, even though they will present in dragon form. It's really the solar logos intelligence, the planetary intelligence field. It is the original consciousness seeded into the earth to maintain specific structures on the planet, the elemental architecture, the water matrix, the womb field, and the creation blueprint of the planet. This dragon spirit was sealed beneath the oceans during the fall. And between 2025 and 2044, during quarantine, correction timeline fields, start planetary stargate recorrection, it is reawakening at a much higher level. And so the dragon is rising. It's not just the feminine is rising anymore, it's the recognition that the dragon rises, which represents that the planetary womb consciousness returns. The emotional field of Earth stabilizes itself. The trauma loops release themselves. The mother grid reseals herself, and the feminine creation field becomes fully active again. This is the restoration of Earth's living body. So we are just in phase one of these things. And you can see to this picture to the side of me, really what I want to get into with you guys is talking about um, everything that's here on the chronological map, the Hydra Oceanic Dragon Grid, that this is the underlying prophecy that's always been there, and it's been kind of broken up into phases. So phase one is the actual birth of Mu, the origins of Mu, pre-fall Lemuria. It represents the time frame of pre-Lemurian to the fall of Mu, approximately 75,000 to 12,000 BCE. Um, in phase one, this was where the Hydra lineage was anchored. This is where the Red-Gold Priestess lineages were carriers of solar fire and emerald water codes. And the dragon spirit was recognized during this phase as A, Ma, Reth, and Ra. A, Ma, Reth, and Ra. Original planetary dragon intelligence stabilizing elemental base codes. And the Mu Temple codes, which were embedded in Kauai, Yonaguni, Okinawa, the Polynesia, Caspian Rift, the Celtic Isles, and Kumari Kandam as well. And so during this phase, Mu's Dragon Grid encoded the planet with womb resonance crystalline vaults and bloodline encryption keys to safeguard the mother grid, the primordial dragon bone ley line system. Um, and this ley line system, I do feel this is where everything that comes through, like I've mentioned before in the previous update about the Jamaican hurricane and all the hurricanes that have been coming through, devastating, all the fires, all of these things, everything that comes through the purification of the mother grid in such a way that creates those cataclysms and weather events to occur, the purging that Mother Earth brings in, these all arise from the dragon bone ley line network that was first seeded here in Mu, forming the skeletal ley line scaffolding that carried the Venusian harmonic resonance into Earth's elemental body. This was the root structure upon which all subsequent planetary dragon architectures would be built, the first and the original. So we're actually coming to a closing of the phase one cycle, and we are now currently in phase two. And phase two is the present activation cycle, 2025 to 2044. So this is cross-temporal transmission from future anchored into our now. Um, it is holding still the primary seal codes of the Hydra councils. It is representing crown, womb gate, memory nodes, opening through sunrise synchrony, and our connection to the primordial waters. Um, through specific intersections of the underwater grids during this present activation cycle, specifically Yonaguni and Okinawa, there's access to the Akashic Vault here under the water. In Kauai, Okinawa, Tonga, there's triangulated rethreading of Mu's womb codes. And then during this present cycle, this is where we will continue to receive the Venus synodic pulses of the 584-day rhythm of elemental seeding. And so reactivation of the Oceanic Dragon Grid, replacement of artificial reversals with crystalline dragon spirals, awakening of Red-Gold Priestess bloodlines, the reawakening of this, the reawakening of the red hair, the copper blood, the gold blood, the birth of the Aurora lineages and the Aurora Dragon host. So the host has to actually awaken, the Aurora host has to awaken before the Aurora lineages truly fully awaken through the dream state as we dream the contact happening. And hence why relationships and lovers and things like this might come through because fertility, right? Birthing, rebirthing the new race, rebirthing the unborn. And it also comes through plasma activation during this window. The dragon bone architecture is relit. So this planetary ley line diagram illustrates the dragon bone architecture, a multidimensional energy structure linking Earth's most sacred grid sites through Venusian harmonic resonance. These interlinked pathways form a global emerald gold energy shield, facilitating the resurrection of organic timelines and activation of solar dragon nodes and restoration of the Venusian Sophianic body. Um, Also, you can see here the planetary chakra correspondences. Okay, the true crown chakra is in Kauai, also in Scotland. And now, when you really sit and think about all these locations, this actually is what makes sense. The third eye, okay, it is California. California is the true third eye. Also, Siberia. The throat chakra is Machu Picchu um, in Mongolia. The heart chakra is Algeria in Germany. The solar plexus is Jerusalem. The sacral is India. And the root chakra is Uluru in Tasmania. This is the true chakra system. These nodes form a serpentine current of living planetary intelligence, guided by the Venusian dragon queens of El Array, who initiate remembrance in Magdalene, Hydra, and Mu lineage holders. The red ley line braid paths were reactivated between 2022 and 2025 by Guardian Gridworkers following encoded stellar commands from the Ishtar Dome archives. So that brings us to phase three, the new Earth completion cycle, which is 2203 Common Era to 12,000 Common Era. Future time cycles. The time frame will be the Aurora host cycles of 12 in New Earth civilization. It will happen during the 9th solar wave of the 77th harmonic future anchor. The Aurora Dragon host seal will fully emerge. And the Aurora Dragon races carrying double diamond sun templates will fully be birthed. The full Seraphim line will heal. This is huge. This is probably one of the most important things that will happen, is because there's a whole history that goes behind this. So just drop it down in the comments if you would like me to go over the Seraphim fallen line history. But essentially, this will be unified and released entirely from the synthetic body. And the seraphim angelic soul angelic template will be um, completely upgraded. And that will represent return of the dragon flame, Edenic harmonic stabilization of the Eden realm. And the guardian prophecy seal will be fully activated when the dragon flame rises, and the womb of the planet shall seal, and the gates of Orion shall fully fall and collapse. So, everything that I'm explaining to you here is the culmination of the Hydra Council prophecy. Um, it's a prophecy within a prophecy, and it's the mother grid that becomes a crown of emerald gold light, and the dragon spirit fully reinstalls, enabling planetary Edenic restoration and full embodiment of the seventh root race, and the dragon bone lattice of light evolves into a living crystalline skeleton of Earth's aurora body, locking in the Edenic harmonic and making the mother grid indestructible. And this is really where the crystal template and the crystal body of the earth will, again, it will be indestructible. We've been in phase one. We're living through the activation of phase two. Phase three is the coming. And in phase three represents the coming. And so the earth knows what she is doing. Our role in all of this is quite simple. It is to stay in your body, for one, stay in your breath. Um, There's so much to be grateful for in your body and just slowing down in your breath. The message is to let the emotional waters move through you and return to the ocean of yourself. Return to the waters. Okay, this is how the grid truly heals, is for us to become one again with this. So 1111 portal, just take a nice deep breath. Feel into your lower belly, feel the ocean inside you. You're not here in this video today by accident. This was a kind of a special one with a special message. And you're a part of this memory returning. You are part of the Dragon Grid reawakening, and you are part of the restoration of Mu. And we are in the time of remembering. We are in the remembering that is happening through our body. I think another one of the messages is that we don't have to be initiated at the highest levels. We don't have to. We don't have to be in comparison to someone else's expansion, evolution, or growth, or whatever that is. We don't have to be any of that. Nothing needs to be forced. Nothing needs to be proven. Nothing needs to be displayed. The feminine field restores through presence and resonance, not performance. And I feel like that's a message that somebody needed to hear today. That's kind of the core of the dragon spirit that's returning. She is returning through us, through our body. So, yeah, guys, I love you all so, so much. I actually have a Hydra special on my website. Um, Check out to see what your starseed origins are and come do a one-on-one evaluation of that with me. I can break it down for you. And maybe you have some Hydra starseed there in your chart and we can figure that out. Maybe you don't, but that also doesn't matter either. You can still feel connected to a particular system and a particular energy and consciousness, even if it's not in your chart. But I do love to do the starseed origin charts, and I think that they give you a lot of insight of your cosmic identity, which helps you to therefore interpret, again, that essence of belonging and why you're here and initiate that into purpose. So this concludes this spoken update, you guys. All of my links will be down in the description. I hope to see you in the next energy update, and happy 11/11.